It's not often that a new country emerges on the world stage. Montenegro gained independence in 2006. Kosovo became a country in 2008. In 2011, South Sudan became the newest country in the world until this week. It was with great joy that the entire planet watched the birth of Truckistan, just north of the American border. Much like America, Truckistan was born of oppression and tyranny. Truckistan's independence story is one of regular people fighting against all odds, using all they have to secure their freedom. It's inspiring, and the best part of it all, it was one of the world's first successful 100% peaceful revolutions. There was no shot heard around the world. Nope, there was simply a honk heard around the world. Honking is the official greeting of the people of Truckistan. It's their custom, it's their tradition. We must respect it. The new flag of Truckistan is also very impressive, and it reflects their official greeting. What led to the glorious revolution of Truckistan? It's a great question. If the tomes and sacred texts of Truckistan are to be believed, their revolution was spurred on by a hostile leader known as Castro Jr. Castro Jr. was a fascist dictator. He was evil, and he cared not for his own people. How did he get like that? You know, some may say it's in his blood. Others may say he had daddy issues. Some scholars even suggest that Castro Jr.'s father was the Western Hemisphere's only communist dictator. We may never know. But like all evil dictators, Castro Jr. rose to power promising something for everybody. Here's Castro Jr. reaching out to the alphabet community.
I will never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights to not have to undergo conversion therapy.
Tough day, all right, tough day for the panderer. Castro Jr. also attempted to appeal to the multicultural people of Truckistan, formerly known as Canada, by attempting to look like them. Yikes. Okay, well. He became a master of this tactic, a master of disguise, you may call it, because it was all a lie. You see, Castro Jr. hated the people of Canada. He granted himself unlimited and unconstitutional powers time and time again, and he used those powers to destroy the lives of his fellow countrymen. He shut down their businesses, he restricted their travel, and he even forced his people to take medicine they didn't want. In the end, the brave people of Truckistan began to stand up one by one, like this brave restaurant owner.
You know, we're in a provincial lockdown right now. Restaurants are not allowed to be open.
I'm not under provincial jurisdiction, ever. You're on sovereign land. My paralegal is on his way here. You can discuss it with him.
Okay, well, I'm just asking you, and I'm educating you right now. If you do not shut this down, follow the provincial rules.
Right. I don't follow provincial rules here.
There will be charges coming. Okay?
The what is?
There will be some charges coming.
What kind of charges?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. You need to shut this down.
What do you mean you don't know?
If you don't know,
what charges are. What, you going to go trump them up in the frickin' office?
Jeez.
You either know what charge you're going to be filing, or there is no charge. Awful, turning on your own citizens. Why don't you go live in communist China? Go live on the credit score.
That brave woman asked a simple question. By what authority are you shutting me down? What power do you have to ruin my life? Where is it written that you can take bread from the mouth of my children? During that clip, dining in her restaurant were truckers, the native people of Truckistan. They overheard this exchange and asked the same question. You see, truckers are the ones who brought the food to that store that day. Even the gremlin-like Gestapo agent eats food delivered by truck. The entire nation did. The fuel that drive the Gestapo agents' cars around come from a truck. They would have no more freedoms to travel or to provide for their families. That's not going to roll in Truckistan. That was when the indigenous people of Truckistan had a splendid idea. We can throw them out. We can throw them out of our restaurants. We can throw them out of our country, out of the government. We can shut down Castro Jr. for good. And that's exactly what they did. Using the tools that now have become a symbol of freedom around the world, their trucks. Thousands and thousands of trucks descended upon Castro Jr.'s home in the town of Ottawa. It's now currently known as Dieseldorf, and parked their big rigs in gridlocks all around the city. That was when the great honkening began. Castro Jr., of course, immediately fled like a coward. He fled to an undisclosed location in order to call the Truckistanis racist. Clearly, that's because they didn't use enough shoe polish on their face like he did. But also, I think we should take Truckistanis at their own word, shouldn't we? Let's go ahead and hear what they have to say.
Where were you when Doug Ford shut down my side business? Where the hell were you? You weren't there. But now you want to come out in the freezing cold to oppose my fundamental human rights and freedoms. I'm not going to have it. I'm a black man standing beside my brother right here. This is my brother right here. And none of you have the right to tell me who to associate with and who not to associate with me.
My name is Gurtek Singh. I'm from London, Ontario, and I'm here for my freedom and my rights. I love my freedom and my liberty as much as everybody does. And I hate a government telling me what to do with force. That's all I'm here for. It's about choice. It's not about vaccines. And we are all together. We are all Canadians. We are all truckers. Go ahead, truckers. Yeah.
It's inspiring. Like all great revolutions, Truckistan happened slowly at first, and then things began to roll quickly. Members of Parliament began to mock Castro Jr. to his face, whatever color it happened to be that day. Watch.
Mr. Speaker, and I apologize that minister is misleading Canadians. I do get very defensive of Canadians who are outside today, patriotic, peace-loving Canadians who are called misogynist and racist by the Prime Minister. So again, I will ask the Prime Minister, who, may I remind this House, wore blackface on more times than he can remember, apologize to the peace-loving, patriotic Canadians who are outside right now just asking to be heard. Will he speak to them?
Castro Jr. did not speak to them. He never even showed his face. But the internet didn't need any more fuel for the fire. No, no, no. The honkening became the most talked about revolution in the world using memes. So polls began to show that people were losing faith in the Castro regime. As it has been known, Castro Jr. got desperate, and he decided to steal the funding from the truckers. But millions and millions and millions more only poured in. Castro Jr. decided to steal the food and the fuel of the truckers of Truckistan, making it illegal to carry a gas can to the protest. Here is how the Truckistanis responded. And when they made honking illegal, yes, Castro Jr. tried to make honking illegal, this was what Truckistan sounded like.
What's up with the horns at this point, please?
Well, we're not allowed to blow our horns, I think, for 10 days. They got an injunction from a judge, I guess. So we have these. Hang on, I'll show you. We honk these. A whole bunch of us got these. We do these downtown now.
So no one's blowing the horn? I mean, what would happen if you blew the horn right now?
You mean like this?
You can't watch that clip without laughing. You can't watch that clip without joy in your heart. See, the Truckistanis are a joyous people. The joy of freedom overcame tyranny as it always does in Truckistan. Mandates began to fall across Canada one by one, and Truckistan as a nation was born. Castro Jr., for his part, fled back to his home island in the Caribbean, where honking is officially illegal because no one can afford a car. But ladies and gentlemen, the best part is yet to come. The trucker freedom protests gathered on every single continent, including Truckistan's closest neighbor, the American states, the United States of America. Right when we needed the trucks to show up on time, they did. The American Convoy coming soon to a city near you.